What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show recap with Mo. Well, we're getting ready to get into this trailer breakdown for the brand new season of Tyler Perry's Sistas. But before we get into this thing, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shit that's going down. So yes, it is a brand new year, 2024. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your time with your family, your friends, your loved ones. But we about to get back into this thing for a whole brand new year, y'all. So I've enjoyed myself thoroughly. As you can tell, I haven't posted a lot of videos, but we getting back into this thing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode number 1 titled New Beginnings. Now, what I was able to pull up online states new romances and old tensions collide as we check in on the lives of Andi, Karen, Danni, Sabrina, and Fatima 3 months later. So that's what we know in all of this. So let's get to this trailer that we were able to pull up. Look at this whole trailer overall, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it as we scroll through this. All right, so the first thing that we immediately notice in the trailer is that everyone has a makeover. Now, the women were already beautiful, but now, I mean, they've taken their style to the next level. So Andi has a new style. I think pretty much every sister on here has a new hairstyle, and some of them have changed in other ways. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But and we'll talk about that a little bit later on in this video. But anyhow, let's go ahead and start it off from the top where we see Andi on the couch and she's going through documents, and the next thing we see is I guess a previous scene from season 6, the finale, where we see Andi pretty much conveying to Gary, like, we know that you were with more than just us in this situation due to what Penelope was able to uncover. So obviously Gary isn't the only detective or the quote unquote PI in all of this, because she was able to uncover some information about Gary's whereabouts as well. So I'm intrigued about what we will uncover from this point. So the next scene that we see, though, is very interesting because, you know, in the previous episode in season 6, you know, Penelope was stating to Fatima as well as to Andi that she didn't know what she was going to do, but obviously at some point she ended up back over there with Gary. Now, I'm not for sure what their relationship is. Maybe she, you know, maybe she just went back over there to, you know, chit chat or whatnot, or, you know, who knows? Maybe she decided to give this brother another chance. That could be a strong possibility as well. But we do know that she's in this scene with Gary, and he's on the phone right now saying it real hard with his chest right now that she doesn't know what's going to hit her. Now, who is the her? Who is the HER? All right? We don't know. Now, I'm assuming he's talking about Andi, or is he talking about Fatima? Damn, like, who is he talking about? Because right now, he could be seeking revenge from any daggone body. Now, we do know in the previous episode in season 6 that there was a situation that went down with Danni as well. Maybe he could be talking about Danni. Who in the hell knows? Who knows with Gary? But obviously, he can't be talking about... Damn, he can't be talking about Penelope, is he? Like, damn... I don't even know where to start with this one. But anyhow, I'm going to leave that there, man. I'm quite sure we will figure that out once we get to that point in chapter in the season, right? So the next thing we see is Fatima informing Andi that Gary is now under investigation with the alphabet people. Now, that's interesting because the next scene we see Gary slamming his laptop down on the table. Now, since we're already here, I was trying to wait till later. Now, we did see Penelope in this trailer as well, going through some files on Gary's desk. Now, I'm assuming it was his desk because she was there listening to the conversation. And of course, since she's there and she's overhearing the conversation and whatnot, she has to get the intel, right? So she goes to her desk, find out information. Maybe she turns that information over. Maybe she's able to sneak into his laptop, send some documentation over. Who in the hell knows? But what we do know is that Brother Gary is, he's pissed, right? So, damn, okay, let me think for a moment. I'm thinking out loud here. Could it be Penelope? Did Penelope do this to Gary? Because how does Fatima know that this shit went down? Damn, I'm trying to do better this year. Let me change that real quick. How does Fatima know that the situation is going down like this, right? Did Madam have something to do with this? Because we all know that he was able to, retrieve some information on Tamara in the previous season. So my question is, did Fatima drop a dime on Gary, give that information to Madam or whatnot, and then she called some people that she got some intel on? Did she have them follow up with the situation and cause this whole investigation? So that's what I'm thinking as well. It can go multiple ways with Gary because he has his hands in almost everything. The next thing we see is Karen, where it looks like she's celebrating the opening of her brand new salon. So we see Sabrina, we see Andi, Danni, and we see Pam on her left as well. So obviously she was able to secure the loan. Everything went through, obviously, and I'm quite sure her man, her boo, Mr. Brian, is on the side somewhere celebrating as well. We do not see him in this clip right here, but I'm quite sure that Brother Brian is somewhere in the vicinity because there's nowhere in the world he's going to have his girl opening up her shop brand new and he ain't there to see it, all right? Maybe his wife will be there as well. I hope so, all right? But anyhow, go... Y'all know how I feel about this brother. So the next thing we see is Sabrina. Now, Sabrina is at this clinic. Well, I think it's at the Vanguard Hospital. So we find out that she wants to freeze her eggs. Now, of course, I'm not a woman, so I don't know how all of that works. But, from what I understand, that's when women want to preserve their eggs. So when they actually decide to have children, then they're able to go back and they'll have a healthy egg that they can, combine with a sperm. So I'm assuming that's what she wants to do when she meets Mr. Right or whatever she decides to do later on in the future. Now, we see where she conveys that information to both Karen and Andi. Now, honestly, they don't look too shocked about the information, but I would be shocked if we've never had that conversation. Maybe they have had that conversation. But anyhow, going on from there, since we are talking about Karen being in this, this scene right here with, Sabrina conveying that information, let's go ahead and talk about Karen very quickly. Because in the next scene, we see Karen coming to Zach's house. Now, let me go ahead and step back real quick, because let's go back to the scene where we see Karen laying in the hospital room where she's obviously being checked by the nurse or the doctor who is dealing with her pregnancy. We do find out later on when she comes to go see Zach at his house that she tells him that she did have a DNA test done. Now, that's interesting to me because I thought for sure that she knew who the baby's father was. I thought we had confirmed that from, the previous DNA test that you had with Aaron, that proved that he was not the father. So you felt 100% that Zach was the father. But I'm assuming that she just did this to prove herself to be right at this point and have actual documentation, unlike what she did previously. But I am interested, though, because the facial expression that she makes at the doctor's office tells a lot, but it doesn't tell enough. And what I mean by that is she's saying that, she's a little bit later than what she thought she was, or she was a lot sooner than she thought she was. So does that change everything that we thought or what we believed? Now, I will say this. In the last few episodes, we didn't even see Aaron, nor Calvin, if we want to be honest. I mean, were they already jettisoned? Like, daggone, we didn't see a peep of them. Like, he wasn't even in Maurice's apartment. Anyway, since we're talking about apartments, it looks like Tony brings the family to the crib. Whose crib? Not Maurice's crib, but to Danny's crib. Now, Danny has this look on her face like, what the hell is going on here? Now, Tony has brought the family over. And what I mean by the family, we do know that he was previously married. So in this scene right here, we see him with a boy and a girl. And we're not sure. Well, let me step back. I'm not for certain that it is his kids, but from the conversation that he and Danny are having at the airport at work, like he said, you knew what this was when you got into this, stating that, you knew I was previously married. Now, you're trying to step back from me when you knew that I was previously married. Potentially there could have been kids involved in all of this. Are you trying to step back from this, Danny? At this point, when you've thrown everything else away? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. It is laughable. And I'm not laughing at Danny. Shit, I am laughing at Danny because Danny had opportunity after opportunity to get it right with Preston. If you didn't want Preston, then I'm quite sure there could have been another man that you got with that you really loved, that you really wanted, that you felt that you could gel with. But truth be told, you had a man in your house cooking for you, taking care of you, giving you what you needed, giving you the love and everything that you needed, but you just did not foresee yourself with him, and you thought the grass was greener on the other side. And unfortunately, you're finding out that the green grass that you thought was great has trees on it now that you didn't see planted before. So now we have this look on our face of, I don't know where I want to go with this. Like, this isn't what I signed up for. But damn it, you did. But anyhow, no, let me stop laughing. And let me be real serious very quickly on this. This is not a joke. What Danny is going through is what so many people in the world go through every day. Like, we're indecisive about who we want to be, where we want to go, what we want our futures to look like. And then when we meet somebody that could potentially be that match for us, we think that, no, this isn't it. That person over there is the one I really want to be with. And then we find out that it's fool's gold. And then you regret the decision that you made because you were thinking on external reasons and not really on what you really needed. And that's what Danny is starting to figure out, because she saw in the previous episode what we see where Preston has sent her those pictures from his wedding where he was married or whatnot. And you could tell instantly that she was bothered. And I'm like, damn, like, why in the hell are you upset about this man that you claimed that you needed space away from and that you didn't care what he did, and you told him to leave and he left and he did what he wanted to do, which was to get married. And now all of a sudden you're sitting here with a sad face because of the man that you actually chose. Man, that's a word. Let me clap up a little bit. Like, we got to do better, y'all. But anyhow, moving on from there, I've spoken enough about Danny on this episode already. We see Gary in the car with a gun. Now, what in the hell is he doing? Like, is he about to unalive somebody? Like, what? I didn't know you went from this financial guru, this investment officer, to all of a sudden now you want to be in the streets. Like, Gary, this is not the life for you, my brother. And then we see an interesting scene here with Andi. Now, Andi, this isn't a good look. Now, I had to zoom in a little bit. That did not look like Jordan. Maybe I'm wrong, but this brother did not look like Jordan. At first, I thought I was at a whorehouse. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't judge me. But the way the whole scene looked, it just looked wrong, right? And I'm like, who in the hell is being drugged up out of the house with a dude behind her or whatever, or a bar, or whatever this is? It just didn't look good. So initially, I thought Gary was out there with a camera taking pictures to set her up. But when I looked closer, he had that GUN in his hand. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Is this what we've come to at this point? And I'm like, damn, like, is this what we've come to at this point? Like, we about to pull it out and bang, bang? That's what we about to do right now? And then this whole scene with Andi, with old boy right up behind her, looking like they about to have a good old time. Like, what are we doing here? is intriguing. I will say that. Now, as the trailer continues, though, it gets even more intriguing because, there's a body on a stretcher with a sheet on it. So you already know what that means, and I'm like, is that Gary or is that the guy that was following behind Andi? Because Gary could be one of those guys like, if I ain't with you, can't nobody else have you? Potentially that could be him. And like he was stating earlier, like he wants both of them, but he really wants Penelope because he strongly likes her, right? He likes her, but he doesn't really. Shit, I'm so confused. We do. We do know that he likes Andi, but he strongly likes Penelope. All right, so we do know that he loves her. Well, likes her, right? Strongly, right? Because she has his child right now within the womb. So outside of that, that's the only thing that's keeping her firmly in this attachment with Gary at this point, because he knows that he can lose from this situation. Outside of that, I honestly believe that this brother still wants Andi as well, because once you got a taste of something, it's just hard to let that taste go. All right. And, obviously he was enjoying himself with Andi as well as with Penelope and anybody else that was in between, right? No pun intended. But what I mean is he was enjoying himself. So I just don't foresee a brother like Gary, the way that he's responding and the way that he's carrying on right now. And we see this conversation that he has with Hayden. Hayden is like, bro, are you sure? Gary's like, yeah, it's about to go down right now. So I'm like, what the hell is he about to do? Or what has he already committed? And that's pretty much the end of this trailer breakdown for season 7 in totality, man. To be honest with you, I just didn't know where to start with this one because it was so much. And then, so much we can pull from the previous season to bring over here as well. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shit that's going down right here, all right? So with that being said, man, I'll holler at y'all tomorrow night after the premiere of season 7 Sistas, all right? So I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.